This video will provide a brief overview of how to identify subject area obstacles to A through G completion. Two of the most powerful exercises you can perform with TES are one, identifying subject areas that may act as obstacles to A through G completion, and two, identifying when those subject areas become obstacles. The report that you want to use on TES in order to do this is the School and Course GPA Benchmarks report. So come down to the school report section and click on School Course and GPA Benchmarks report. Now you will see the default view of how many students by grade level are either meeting, close to meeting, or not meeting the requirements. Make sure you select the system under the college requirement filter that you would like to view. For this example, I'm just going to switch this view to the CSU. You'll see how the numbers here have increased. And the first thing that we recommend that you do is review the number and percentage of students who fall into each eligibility category and ask yourself the following questions. Are these percentages what you would expect as students progress from one grade level to the next? Why or why not? And is there a substantial decrease or increase in the percentages from one grade level to the next? If so, why may this have occurred? So for instance, in this example, you will see that there is a 9% decrease in the number of students who are meeting the eligibility requirements, the minimum requirements for the CSU. In 10th grade, it was 49%, and 11th grade, it was 40%. So this may be something that you may want to dig a little deeper into the data to try and find out why this is happening. So what we're going to do in this example is let's click on the 9th grade example. Let's start in 9th grade. And when I click anywhere in this section, you will see a bottom section that appears. And what we are doing is we are monitoring in 9th grade areas B and area C. That is why you only see those two subject areas, because that is what we are basing our calculation of minimum eligibility satisfaction. We're basing them on those particular subject areas. So when you look at these courses for areas B and C, are the percentages what you would expect for these subject areas at this particular grade level in 9th grade? Why or why not? Secondarily, are there course placement policies at your school that may explain the percentages that you see? Are all students placed into an A through G approved English and math course in 9th grade? How could policies be modified to improve the number of students who are meeting the 9th grade benchmarks? Is there a large ELL population of students at your school? Would this or does this impact your area B completion rate in 9th grade? If so, how? So these are some of the questions that you may ask yourself as it relates to the percentages that you are seeing in 9th grade. So the next thing you would want to do is click on 10th grade. And when you click on the 10th grade bar graph, we're still monitoring areas B and areas C, but you'll see that the percentages have changed. So you may want to ask yourself the following questions. Did the percentage of students meeting the requirements increase or decrease from the end of 9th grade to the end of 10th grade? Was this increase or decrease what you would have expected? Why or why not? Can the increase or decrease be explained by typical course taking patterns at your school? And what I mean by this is, for example, student deficiencies in either geometry or integrated math 2 are often associated with a decrease in the percentage of students meeting the area C benchmark at the end of 10th grade. That's a pretty standard pattern that we see in many high schools statewide. Are there course placement policies at your school that may explain the percentages that you see? What credit recovery options are available to students to make up deficiencies, should they have them? Could credit recovery options be modified or expanded to enable more students to be meeting the 10th grade benchmarks? So these are some of the questions that you want to ask yourself. The next thing that you would do is click on the 11th grade numbers and then click on the 12th grade numbers and ask yourself the same questions as you did in 9th and 10th grade. Are there increases and decreases? Are they what you would have expected? Why or why not? Once you have answers to these questions, then you can start to develop strategies in order to address them. Once a possible strategy has been developed, you should ask yourself, does your school have the current capacity to implement such a change? For example, does your strategy involve hiring additional staff? Is there a sufficient budget to allow additional staff to be hired? Would a policy change require approval from the school board? And then assuming that you're able to pursue an identified improvement strategy, who's going to be responsible for leading its implementation and monitoring its effect? Would it be one person or a team of people? If it's a team of people, who are the best ones equipped to be on that team to ensure success of the implementation? So in this brief video, hopefully what we have accomplished is showing how you can use the course and GPA benchmarks report to identify particular subject areas that may be obstacles to A through G completion, and then when those subject areas become obstacles, and then the questions you may ask in order to make sense of the data and come up with solutions to increase the overall eligibility rates and increase the post-secondary options for your students. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Hope this video has been useful.